This is the Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show. It's a show full of informative chat and inspirational messages. The Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show on podcast.
I was still in my university years. I attended Howard University on the East Coast in Washington, D.C. And around that time, I was experiencing headaches. I was experiencing numbness in my left side of my body to where from my face down to my arms and my left leg. It was a point to where I could not use it. I had always played different sports and things like that. So I was used to getting up and getting over it. When I was playing basketball, my dad would say, brush it off and get back in the game, get back in the game. So that was like my motto. Okay, shake it off. So I didn't really take it seriously. Just like, oh, this is something that's going on. I graduated in 2001. So I was 22 at that time. Right after school, I went to work in Massachusetts. And those symptoms didn't stop. There were times where I was working and then all of a sudden I was walking and then I just stopped. My body just stopped and I couldn't move. It was scary because I just didn't know why I could not move my body. So I went to every different hospital out here and they brushed it off as, oh, this is just stress. And I was just like, no, this is not stress because I've experienced a lot of stress in my life. And this is not just it. So I would appreciate if you all will look further into this. And it took about 6 years until they got to the final diagnosis to where it got really bad, to where I fell. And I went to the hospital that day. I was rushed to the hospital via ambulance and they did a CAT scan and they told me, Miss Holmes, we don't suggest that you leave. And they didn't tell me why. And I was just like, why do you not want me to leave? They didn't tell me. So I was just like, I plan on going to a wonderful Thanksgiving meal, which was the next day. And I'm going to go now, but the next day I'll come back because I want to enjoy this because I do know that this is going to be serious. I went by myself to Johns Hopkins University. It's a very prestigious hospital there out here in Maryland. And I went by myself and the doctor told me, yeah, you're going to have brain surgery. You have 10 tumors on the left frontal lobe. He said, if you would have waited 2 weeks longer, then we really don't know how you would have been standing because this is quite an extraordinary case right here. But the thing is, his bedside manner was so not good because I was by myself. But the thing was, he showed me what's going to happen. He brought out a skull, an example of a skull. And he said, yeah, they're going to have to slice open your skull. He took off the skull top and then there was a brain. So then this is your brain and they're going to have to take off. And I'm just like, I was just shell shocked at that moment. And when I got to my car, I called my parents right away and they said, oh no, we're going to have to get a second opinion. I said, no, Mom and Dad, I know this is what it is because all of these different feelings that I've been getting, they have been so weird. I don't really know how to explain it other than weird. I feel weird. It's something that I've never felt before. And I said, yeah, this is it. I know this is it. So that's what it is. He said, I have to have it in 2 weeks, meaning that it's such a progressive thing that you have right now. You need surgery within 2 weeks. So that meant I had to get everything together out here, which was in DC, get all my mail forwarded, get all of my clothes together, go on short-term leave, disability from my job, and do all of that within those 2 weeks. I am very spiritual. I was just saying that whatever's going to happen, just guide me in the right direction. But there was one of my friends who I spoke with, and I just let her know what it was. And I actually broke down to her, just releasing all of my emotions. But other than, I just knew that this is what was going to have to happen. I know that I will be able to navigate this the best way that I know how, because I have the inner strength to get through it. So I already knew that I was going to be okay. So there is a difference when people have that mindset and those who don't. Because if you don't, and you keep questioning and asking why and all of that, then each one of your days are going to, my God, because the difference is you have a choice. If you are going to go through something, and this is what am I saying? Everyone is going to have some type of adversity in their life. You can choose to go through it and navigate through it the best way you know how, or you can choose to give up. I don't want to give up. I don't want to die. I want to get better and better. That's what I want to do. So initially, I had about a 15-hour surgery. And after that, I didn't know how to talk, walk, or my memory was wiped clean. I had to relearn how to do all of those things. I had to go through physical therapy, speech therapy, and all of that. So I was in the hospital for about 2 to 3 weeks after my surgery, and my family was surrounding me the whole time. They brought me different books to read. My mother and I like to play Scrabble. That's our game. So even though I couldn't speak, my brain was still coming back too. So the books I was reading in about a day or so. I love James Patterson's books. So I would go through those books so fast. And then every time in the rec room, my mom and I would play Scrabble, and I would beat her in Scrabble, even though I couldn't formulate the words or anything like that. I would go back in my mind and I would see the word, and then I would put them out, even though I could not vocalize them. I was going through my speech therapy when they had their cards up. Okay, Teri, what is this? What is this? What is this word? And I remember specifically the word was banana, and my brain, it went back and it said the word in Spanish because I know Spanish as well. And the banana, I said plátano. And the therapist was like, no, Teri, say it in English. And I was just like, no, I got so frustrated because I wanted to say these words so bad, but I couldn't remember how to do it. And it was so very frustrating. I've heightened hearing because I can actually hear when people would be around me that when they're eating and the fork and they got their teeth on the fork, I could hear that and it would bother me so badly. So conversation, and then this, and then that. It's just like, my gosh. And then I would just say, oh my gosh, guys, be quiet. And so and they would look like, what's wrong with you? Then you have to just drop it and say, look, this is not working. I'm going to come back. But also, an interesting thing is trying to remember. I tried to remember who I was prior to this. What did I used to do? Who was I? How did I used to act before this? And day by day, I would just analyze this and see how it was. But I realized that it's a moot point because I will never be that person prior to this. At the same time, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. Now, that is the one thing that the seizures are the one thing that still occurs now. And those are some of the, most challenging things to deal with at the moment. Because with seizures, they can come on at any time. We don't know. Currently, though, since I was having so many and I was hospitalized for days on end, my license was suspended. My neurologist would not sign the medical evaluation. At this point, I don't want to drive because I have a lot of anxiety, and people at this moment, they are driving out of this world. When you have, the surgery, it is so challenging to focus on so many different things going on at one time. To focus on your traffic here, to look over your back, to do this, to keep your hands on it's a lot. Initially, you feel like you're losing that independence. However, I have access. Access is the mobile car service that comes through my medical benefits that will take you anywhere you want. As long as I have that, I'm fine. So all I can do right now is to move on with who I am now and accept this life that I have right now. I was working in corporate America in computer information systems. I was making well over $100,000. So I was well advanced, and that doesn't matter because I'm not there now. So I'm here right where I am. I now assist with other brain tumor survivors in a program that I have, helping them with their diagnosis, because it can be a very daunting thing to hear that initially, especially if no one in your immediate circle has heard that. And when that happens, you really don't know where to turn, or you don't even know the websites to go to gain information about it. I run myself to do the research and look up the site. I looked up, okay, what do the patients normally, what happens to us, how we are, and our sensibilities and vulnerabilities, especially with how sensitive we become. Our hearing, everything is heightened at this time. My passion, my mission, I believe, is to show people, is to be an example for others that although you have been diagnosed with this, you can live still. You may need to alter different things because your body is not the same. You're not the same person that you have been. However, you can still build upon who you are now. So I show them different things that I do. I provide different information that is available for survivors, for the different, websites and things that you can go to figure out more information, but also just show that you can live your passion, whatever it is, even though my motto is to shine your light for the world to see. Whatever it is that you are into, do that because you only have one life and live that to the best of your ability. My handle is hashtag Brainy Beauty Inspires. Instagram is brain_tumor_beauty. I would just like to thank my family, but also the person who performed the surgery, Dr. Black. He is one of the top neurosurgeons in Los Angeles who worked at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. And what's interesting is that since my surgery was so dire and needed to be done within at least 2 weeks, my mother went to him and said, "Hey, I need you to do this and perform this on my daughter." And what she said was specific. She said, "What if this was your family? What if this was your daughter? What would you do?" And he took me within 2 weeks. And that was something very significant, because I don't know how long I would have been waiting on the waiting list. I'm thanking my mom. Yeah, I just really my family. They really covered me. And I have a huge family. And when I was in the hospital during the surgery, everybody was in there. Thank you. All of the people that were praying every day. Thank you. Who are still praying every day. My church family. Thank you. So I just want to thank them. Take care.
This is the Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show. It's a show full of informative chat and inspirational messages. The Aunty and Brain Tumours talk show on podcast.